a week ago by not allowing our great vice president to see them, and we give them hundreds of millions of dollars in aid and support, tremendous numbers that nobody understands. That money is on the table, and that money is not going to them unless they sit down and negotiate peace.
President Trump, less than a half hour ago in Davos, sitting with Benjamin Netanyahu, who was praising him for moving the capital of Israel, our embassy to the capital of Israel, which is Jerusalem. And we created a lot of enemies and a lot of anger there. And in fact, he felt as though, as the president just said that, he goes, we were two isolated countries at the United Nations. And then saying the Palestinians just disrespected our vice president and refused to meet with Mike Pence a couple of days ago. And the president said, listen, I'm not going to write you a big check if you're not even going to talk peace and disrespect our government like that. In studio, nodding along, is Congressman Lee Zeldin, a Republican from Long Island. And you just mentioned you have a chance to interact with the president kind of often. You're both New Yorkers, obviously. And first off, your reaction to what the president said is pretty direct.
You saw with the way Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was talking about President Trump, there is a lot of pride over there amongst Bibi that we feel here. And we are proud of our president, the way he's approaching this issue. Israel is one of our greatest, if not our greatest allies in the entire world. There should be no daylight between our countries. It was a good thing that there were flowers in between Bibi and Trump during those remarks, because you could tell that they're ready to hug. I mean, there is no daylight. There was just flowers between the two of them.
Right.
The president,
and it wasn't that way with President Obama. President Obama and Netanyahu famously didn't get along. President Obama tried to get his opponent to win the last election, which is unbelievable.
President Obama's team was on the ground in Israel. They were actively campaigning to oust Bibi. Even on the way out the door, Secretary Kerry gave this over-hour rambling speech lecturing the world about Israel, very pro-Palestinian, especially on their exit out of office. President Trump made a commitment during the campaign. He was going to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. He was right. He was fulfilling not only his own campaign promises, he was fulfilling the campaign promises of past presidents, and he was doing the right thing because Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. It makes sense that our embassy would be in the capital of Israel. And, as it relates to making sure the taxpayer dollars aren't funding the Palestinians when they are inciting violence and financially rewarding terror, one issue after another, President Trump has been great on this topic.
Congressman Zeldin, you're a Jewish American, right? So you obviously know that the Israeli government usually is friendly to you, right? You have a conversation. Do you have a relationship with the Prime Minister?
I've been there. I've interacted with the Prime Minister and his team. They come here. They love our country. And I'll tell you what, when I was in Israel, I was at this place called Deck's Restaurant in Tiberias. The owner gets on the microphone. She starts preaching her love of the United States and how much she values the relationship between the United States and Israel. As she's doing it, a boat pulls in off the Sea of Galilee and starts blowing off fireworks. As the fireworks start blowing off, the owner of the restaurant starts playing God Bless America over the loudspeaker, and everyone's singing along. If they know the words, they were lip-syncing it. There are a lot of restaurants in the United States, let alone other countries, in the United States where you don't have that happen. They love us.
What's your reaction to the report that John Kerry told Mahmoud Abbas, resist President Trump, and I'm going to run in 2020, he'll be out in a year, if this reports are true?
It is absolutely outrageous. Secretary Kerry's policy and approach, his rhetoric, the policies that were coming out of the Obama administration while he was Secretary of State was wrong. Right now, his efforts to undercut the Trump administration when they're doing the right thing, it's absolutely outrageous. Secretary Kerry should know better as a former Secretary of State not to go this far out of his way to undercut our diplomacy in our efforts to do the right thing.
You did not like the president's tax plan because it didn't affect New Yorkers positively because you can no longer write state tax, and our state tax is way too high. What was the president's reaction to you not going along with it?
Well, actually, we were together just afterwards at the White House. We have interacted very well together. On the corporate tax side, I mean, there's all sorts of great components of this bill. We're seeing the impact of it right away. I do believe that we need to bring spending under control in our country. If we want to reduce the corporate tax rate, I'd rather see that paid for with spending cuts. I want to see our economy growing faster than government is. I want to see deficits turn into surpluses. On the personal income side, I was advocating for something that would better protect middle-income itemizers in my district and in my region. Mm-hmm. I would say, though, the reason why our state and local tax deduction is so high is because our state and local taxes are so high. So the tax bill is law. Now we need state and local governments to do their part and bring down the tax burden.
Congressman, you really have no choice. You represent a bunch of people who might be paying more money. You got to do that, to be honest. you're a Republican, but you got to represent your people. Lastly, we have this issue of DACA. We have Cory Gardner, Lindsey Graham on one side, and Tom Cotton just within Republicans on the other side. Where's this going to go? Where's the rubber hit the road for you?
I would predict, I can't guarantee it, that at some point between the next 2 and 6 weeks, for the first time, and it's been so elusive for a long time, that we're going to have an immigration bill. And we're going to address the DACA issue. We're going to get funding for the border wall. We are going to make important changes to chain migration, visa lottery, just as President Trump outlined. So where Senator Schumer is out there accusing President Trump of being jello, Senator Schumer before last weekend was against the border wall. During the weekend was for a border wall. After the weekend was against the border wall. Senator Schumer and the congressional Democrats are the jello, but we know what? No matter what, we're going to still do the right thing. We're going to make a great compromise that the American public is going to love, understanding that we have other issues with our immigration system need to be addressed.
As our listeners at WRCN know, with you, this is a major issue for you and your district. There are a lot of people who came here illegally who have kids. I coached a lot of them. I'm finding out over the last few days their parents are here illegally. I had no idea. They're calling me to find out. Your phone must be ringing off the hook.
No doubt. And I'll tell you, Long Island loves and we're proud of Brian Kilmeade. It's great to be on with you, but your hometown's proud of you.
All right, thanks so much, Congressman. They are very happy that you represent them.